What's up, everybody? Good early evening coming to you from the left side of the screen this time because it's a little easier to see what's going on here in terms of the most important stuff when you go over injury reports. And we have injury reports from both teams now. So let's talk about it because the injury report for both teams really is pretty significant for this one because we all know all the problems the Rams are having over there on their side, and we also know we were having a little bit of a problem this week. We were actually having a big problem. There was a flu bug or something floating around the VMAC. A lot of people got sick. A lot of people missed practice because of an illness. So there was definitely a little bit of concern as recently as even earlier today that we were going to be missing a lot of players because of this illness. Well, I have mostly good news. It's actually almost entirely good news, especially given where this could have gone. I mean, you can see it on your screen right here. You go back to Wednesday, you can start to see handful of players got sick. Lewis, Homer, Phil Haynes, Al Woods. Thursday, it was peaking. You had Lewis, Homer, and then you had Jefferson, Brooks, both Joneses, Josh Jones, Tony Jones, Miles Adams, Marquise Goodwin, all dealing with an illness. You had a couple guys practicing even though they were listed with an illness. It was looking a little bit dicey. So I'm happy to report, excuse me, that as of right now, after this Friday practice, basically everybody practiced, and it seems likely we're going to have everybody. Today, you can see it. The only player who missed practice was Josh Jones, and I don't think anybody would be too upset if Josh Jones didn't play football again for these Seahawks. So I'm not going to say it's meaningless because I do understand that Josh Jones does play a role on this defense and he does have to get out there a little bit. And him not being able to play would be at least notable because of Abram. Abram is not ready to play yet. Pete Carroll already said that. But yeah, Josh Jones was the only guy who did not practice. Travis Homer was limited in his practice participation, which that could go either way because you can see he didn't practice on Wednesday or Thursday, so might be significant. Everybody else toughed it out. And by the end of the day, when the Seahawks had to do their game designations for this Rams game, you can see nobody has been declared out. Nobody is doubtful, in fact. The only three guys who are questionable at all are Josh Jones, Travis Homer, and the guy who's actually physically injured in a way that would happen on a football field, not the illness, Ryan Neal, which I think we all kind of knew he was going to end up at least questionable here. So we kind of swam through a sewer and came out smelling clean on the other side. This was not a great week in terms of anticipating who was going to be able to play and who wasn't. But as of right now, it's not perfect, of course. Travis Homer would be a significant loss. Ryan Neal would be a very significant loss, especially with no Josh Jones and Abram not being ready apparently. What do you do at safety then? Do you just toss in Tanner Muse? Do you toss in a cornerback to play some safety? I don't know what we do then. That's obviously something to monitor, but for whatever it's worth, Carroll sounds like he thinks Ryan Neal will be able to play. Will he be able to play effectively? I mean, he's got a couple things going on here, right? It's not just one thing. It could definitely add up to something that affects his ability to play. But everybody else, not even listed. Goodwin, Lewis, Quentin Jefferson, Abe Lucas, I guess. I mean, he actually showed up on the injury report this week with a knee thing, but never showed up because of illness, and he's good to go. Jordan Brooks. Carroll called it like a 48-hour bug, and it sure seems like it passed through everyone after 48 hours. So, given that, if you look at Josh Jones, who is only questionable with illness, if this is something that he got back on Thursday, you would think by Sunday he'd be good to go. So, I think Josh Jones will play, and I think Ryan Neal will play. That's my read right now. I don't know about Travis Homer, though. I'm not sure about that because that's a knee. And he's already missed some time this year with one injury, and he's also maybe dealing with the lingering after effects of an illness. Maybe you give him maybe you give him a week. And that would be a significant loss, but DJ Dallas got to step up. Maybe Tony Jones gets activated. I don't know. But it wouldn't shock me if Homer missed this one. But other than that, it's about as good as we could have hoped. The only guys we really don't have in this game are the guys who we've already known we're not going to have because they're on IR. So with that being said, let's flip over to the Rams injury report here, and you can see that they got it a lot worse. Let me zoom in a little bit more here, and you can see it's a bit of a mess right now. We already knew most of this, granted, but Aaron Donald is out. We've known that for a few days now. Terrell Lewis is out. He was actually a starting edge player for them. He wasn't playing well this year at all. He was not particularly effective, but that means they have to go even further down their depth, and their already really bad pass rush becomes even worse. And you've also got Matthew Stafford is out, which we've known about for a while, granted. Lance McCutcheon is out, which normally wouldn't be a big deal, but with all the receivers this Rams team is already missing, it is a big deal. And Travin Howard, a backup linebacker, is also out. So they are the ones who are really down a lot of men. And it doesn't end there either. You've got Brian Allen, their starting center, questionable. He did get in a few practices this week, but it was all limited. He hasn't played that much this year. I expected him to be back a while ago, and it's just been kind of it's been a process to get him back onto the field. I don't know if this week is going to be the week. Obviously, he's a pretty good center. If he's not out there for the Rams, then their offensive line, which is already not playing well at all, they're not getting good play out of that left tackle they've got over there. I can't remember his name, who's replacing Noteboom. They're not getting good play out of their guards. The only guy on that offensive line who's really playing at a plus level right now would be Havenstein. So getting Brian Allen back will be big for that interior offensive line just to give them somebody who knows what they're doing. But as of right now, questionable. You've also got Troy Hill, and that is actually a really big one. Troy Hill is a starting cornerback across from Jalen Ramsey. And you know that Jalen Ramsey's likely to be following Metcalf wherever he goes in this game. So Troy Hill, you're probably going to sick him on Tyler Lockett. And that's not an easy battle for anybody. And he barely practiced this week. He's missed practice the last 2 days. So very good chance that Troy Hill does not play in this game either. So he's questionable. And not only that, he moves to the slot whenever the opposing team goes 3 wide. He covers the slot receiver. So, Goodwin, who's apparently fully healthy for this game, he's also a guy who's going to have to deal with Troy Hill if he's out there. But if he barely practiced this week, I would say the odds are kind of stacked against him being able to get out there. So that's big. You've also got Ernest Jones, and I don't believe he's a big-time player for them, but he's currently questionable. He got in a little bit of practice today, but very limited week of practice for him. And look, every injury matters for these Rams right now because they have so many injuries to their main guys. Guys who normally you wouldn't ask anything of, so now you've got to ask stuff of them. So on top of that, you've got guys like Tyler Higbee, one of the few remaining quality pieces on that offense, who is working through some stuff with his, he'll play, but he's definitely working through some stuff right now. He was, a couple weeks ago, got injured and wasn't targeted in the last game at all, I believe. So that's significant. Ode Ibushi, he did manage to get in a full practice on Friday. He's good to go. He's got an illness of his own, actually, as you can see, but that's a starting guard for them right now. They're down to the nub. So this is a pretty severe injury list, and this is on top of Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson, A'Shawn Robinson, these guys they already had on injured reserve. So this is a very depleted Rams team, and by the time the game day gets here, it could be a good amount worse. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks.